What do you think of when someone mentions narcissism? Personally, the imagery that pops out to my mind is an individual who is excessively arrogant and self-centered. Someone who thinks of themselves as the quintessential person, free from imperfections.
You play it like you've lost your only love.
Unfortunately, my one true love remains myself.
I don't know if you've noticed, but those girls over there are staring at you.
Of course they are. I'm stunningly attractive.
If I were to refer to the popular media, I think Joffrey Baratheon's character is the literal embodiment of that. Many people might view him as a scumbag and think that there's no way they'll become someone like him. However, unbeknown to some, each one of us is actually a narcissist to a certain extent. While a significant portion of us may not be on the same exact level as Joffrey Baratheon in terms of narcissistic tendencies, we are still considered one nonetheless. In this video, I will explain the reason why we are all subjected to narcissism. Furthermore, I'll also discuss the 4 different types of narcissists. I'll begin the discussion by stating the obvious. We are social animals. According to Tomasello, human evolution allowed the formulation of pro-social behavior, which means people are naturally inclined with collaborating with other people. The need to interact, bond, and engage with other people is ingrained into us. Robert Greene, in his book entitled The Laws of Human Nature, argued that our sense of self-worth is, to some degree, determined by the amount of validation and attention we receive from other people. And when people succumb to this natural need, they become the worst type of narcissist. Fortunately, some individuals who found a way to internalize a sense of self that can be a source of validation can avoid falling into the deadly trap of deep narcissism. Since they can obtain validation from within, the desire for other people's attention and validation usually fades. Thus, we can immediately make an anecdotal conclusion that selfless individuals are those who were able to establish a sense of self. On the other hand, people who weren't able to establish a sense of self or the self-validation system becomes extremely self-centered. People possess inherent narcissism. Whether a person becomes the worst type of narcissist or becomes someone who is classified as healthy narcissist is completely dependent on the establishment of the sense of self or our self-validation system. When a person encapsulates this system, they gain self-esteem. And now, let's talk about the different types of narcissists. Number 1 is a deep narcissist. Deep narcissists possess the worst type of narcissism.
Much too dim to realize that my suggestions are the first glimmer of genius this company has seen in years. I think they're just too jealous to accept my ideas. Any other company would have absorbed them.
You have been described variously as the guru of the square mile, a legend in your own Armani suit, and the greatest businessman this planet has ever seen. How do you regard these claims?
Insulting.
Insulting?
Do you honestly believe words can do justice to my commercial genius?
The common image of an egoistic scumbag that people normally perceive as a narcissist falls under this category. The relationship of children with their parents is a huge contributing factor to their ability to establish self-esteem. Robert Greene also stated that individuals with deep narcissism usually face either abandonment or excessive exposure to attention. A person who was abandoned and did not receive any form of attention or validation from anyone tends to extend that desire throughout adulthood. As a result, they are not given opportunity to establish a realistic sense of self. They become too self-absorbed and self-centered. All they wanted to do was focus on themselves and neglect everyone else. They want to become the center of everything. On the other hand, if the person receives a suffocating amount of attention, they might become too dependent on external validation from other people. A deep narcissist of this sort develops an unrealistic and sometimes delusional sense of self. They have come to believe that they are and should be the center of everything. Deep narcissists usually exhibit the following tendencies. Number 1. They become excessively angry if they are insulted or challenged.
The only respectable thing about you, old sport, is your money. Your money, that's it. I have just as much as you. That means we're equal. You shut up! Shut up! You shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Number 2. They literally take things personal.
He walked right past me. Now look at my Really? Oh, so that's how you're gonna play it. You gonna do this? Okay, fine. That's all I needed. That's all I needed for him to do that, and it became personal with me.
Number 3. They guilt trip people who don't want to give them attention or validation. Number 4. They become jealous of people who receive attention.
What a handsome couple they make.
Number 5. They exhibit an extreme sense of self-confidence.
Aren't those guys awesome? Give it up. Everything a woman ever wanted, and they're everything the world needs. This is a demonstration of intelligence, wisdom, sophistication.
So how many you kissed?
5,000.
And lastly, they've put immense importance on what other people think of them. The second type of narcissist is called functional narcissist. A significant portion of the human population is in this category. Functional narcissists are self-absorbed, but they were able to establish a self-validating system. Hence, they can focus their energy and attention on other things outside of themselves. Number 3. Healthy narcissists. Individuals like this possess a strong and realistic sense of self. They have accepted that they may have specific strengths, but they are still flawed like anyone else. Healthy narcissists' strong sense of self allows them to focus most of their attention outside of themselves. Consider this comparison. Deep narcissists face some difficulties in the workplace because they constantly consider what other people think of them, or if they are receiving enough attention or validation. Thus, they are forced to focus their energy and focus elsewhere. Whereas a healthy narcissist, since they know their realistic worth, can give their full effort and focus on their workload. As individuals part of the narcissistic spectrum, we have 2 primary objectives. First, we must accept the fact that we are all narcissists. And second, we must make a deliberate stride towards being healthy narcissists. If you want to understand this topic in a much detailed manner, I highly recommend reading Robert Greene's The Laws of Human Nature. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching.